Hi guys. So a few weeks ago, I was asked to demonstrate calf raises, the proper way to do them. The request was made by Jet 722Z, and I did the demonstration. It's on my YouTube channel. I think if you look under tips for calf raises, I think that's what the video is called. You'll be able to see the demonstration. But one of the things that I told him that I stressed is that it's important to, in order to have strong calves or to be able to build strong calves, you need to have strong feet. And so I demonstrated a couple, I think 1 foot exercise, maybe 2 in the video. And one of the feedback that I got was that's something that they had never thought about, and they wanted to know if I could do demonstrations on calf foot exercises, different exercises to strengthen your feet. So I have several different exercises. I'm going to break them down into different categories. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a few today, then I'll come back in a couple of weeks and give you maybe a week or so and give you a few more. And then on another week, I'll give you a few more. And I use different things for each type of foot exercise that I do. So this series is going to be just your feet, just you and your feet, okay? And I do have on socks. I have them rolled down. You can keep socks on, you can take them off. For one exercise, you're definitely going to need to take your socks off, and so I'll definitely show you how to do that. But we're going to go ahead and get started. So what I usually start with my foot exercises, I think I'm going to do them on the floor because the mat is kind of wobbly and you want to be on a stable surface. What I like to do, starting out, I like to have my feet straight, and I usually just rock from side to side. And you want your feet to do the work. I don't want you leaning through the torso. You really want your feet to do that work. And this is an exercise that's really good, more so for strengthening your ankles than your actual feet. But I think it's a really good exercise to start with. And usually what I'll do is I'll do about 10 to 12, sometimes I'll go into 15, depending on how my ankles are feeling, depending on how I'm feeling just in general. Once I finish those, I will immediately go into an exercise that I call domes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate, I'm going to take my sock off and demonstrate what that is. So basically with your domes, and I'm going to turn to the side with so that you can see it. What you can do with your feet, you can either do 1 foot at a time, or you can do both of your feet at the same time. I'm going to demonstrate with 1 foot so that you can see what I'm doing. And the purpose of this is literally to try to raise your arch higher. And how you do it is just by simply placing your foot flat on the floor, spreading your toes, and then trying to pull your toes back towards your heel, get that arch raised without scrunching up or balling the toes. Then you're going to go ahead and release it, and again you're going to try it again. And hopefully you guys can see that my arch actually does lift. You're going to pull the toes back and then lower it down, and then pull back and then lower it down. Usually you try to hold it for like about 5 seconds and then lower it down. And again, I like to do probably I'd say about 8 to 10 of those, but you want to make sure that on the last one you hold it for like maybe 10 seconds, okay? If you're going to do both feet at the same time and you're doing high reps, then it probably would be easier for you to do both feet at the same time if you don't have a lot of time. These exercises are exercises that I recommend that you do when you don't have a lot to do, so like if you're watching TV or something like that. All right, from dome feet, then I go into another exercise that I'm going to demonstrate with my sock off. And it's basically a movement of the toes. And so what's going to happen is this. You're going to do, again, 1 foot at a time. And the goal is going to be to try to lift each toe individually. I find that one of my feet works better than the other. And I think that's natural because this happened with a client too. But what you're going to do is you're going to lift your big toe, keep your your third, fourth, fifth toes on the floor. Then you're going to lift your second toe, keeping the third, fourth, and fifth toe on the floor. Then you're going to lift your third toe, which is kind of a stickler for me, keeping the second and the fourth and fifth toe on the floor. Then you're going to lift the fourth toe. Then you're going to lift the fifth toe. Then you're going to put the fifth toe down. Then you're going to lower the fourth, the third, the second, and the first. Again, and this is just for toe articulation, but it's very important in order to have strong feet. You want your entire foot to be strong, not just the bridge and the arch. So again, you're going to lift the big toe, the second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, the fifth toe. Then you're going to lower the fifth toe, the fourth toe, the third toe, the second toe, and the first toe. So those take a lot out of me. They're very hard, and I'm getting better at it. But so I usually do about 4 sets of those. When I first started doing them, I was doing 1 set with 1 foot, then go to the other foot. Now I can do 4 sets straight. So it's basically building up the strength to be able to do those, to be able to manipulate your individual toes. It's building up those muscles. The next exercise that we're gonna do is, and I did this in the video for learning how to strengthen your calves, or the tips for calves. We're gonna focus on taking a deep breath in. You're gonna blow that air out, and as you get to the bottom, you're gonna start to roll up onto the balls of the toes. Make sure the toes are spread wide, and all of your weight should be shifted to the big toes. You're gonna take another blow out and try to blow a little bit harder and roll up a little bit higher onto the balls of the toes, yeah? From there, you're gonna lower it down. Again, you're gonna take a deep breath in, blowing the air out, start to roll up onto the balls of the toes, blow out just a little bit more air and try to roll up just a little bit higher, really focusing on shifting the weight to the big toes, and then lowering down. And if you were to look at me from the side, you're gonna take a deep breath in, blowing the air out, roll up onto the balls of the toes, blow out just a little bit more, roll up just a little bit higher, and then lower that down. So for those, I do 8 to 10 reps, and then I go into lifting my toes off the floor and just being on the heels of my feet. So again, what's gonna happen is you're gonna lift and lower and lift and lower. You gotta find your balance for this. Lift and lower, lift and lower. Now, what you don't want to happen is you don't want to rock through the hips. You want to keep your hip flexors open. So if you need to, focus on squeezing your glutes as you lift and lower the feet. And then you can also place your hand on a wall if you need to help you balance. From there, you're going to combine those 2 exercises. So you're going to go with the lifting of the toes, then you're going to lower the toes down and immediately roll up onto the balls of the toes, lower the heels, lift the toes, lower the toes, roll up onto the balls of the toes. Again, still trying to come up, and lower the heels, nice and slow and controlled. Lift, roll, lower. And so for that, you want to do another set of 8 to 10. The last exercise that I do in this series is what I call zigzags. And zigzags are good because what they do is they combine pretty much 3 exercises that we've done. Kind of the rocking back and forth through the ankle, but it's more of a rotation, and the lifting and lowering of the heels and the toes. So what's going to happen is this: you're going to make sure that you give me really exaggerated movement as you zigzag, and then come back onto the balls of the toes, lift the toes. So you're going back and forth with that, yeah? What you don't want to do is you don't want to cheat the exercise, meaning you don't want to give me, just kind of like, because this really isn't work. I mean, it is working the feet, but you're going to get more out of it if you really focus on moving with intent and pronouncing each movement. So zigzags back and forth, I usually do 4 sets, 4 counts going one way, 4 counts going the other way. That's 1 set. And then from there, I usually just roll out my ankles. And these, again, are things that I do if I don't have anything else to do, or other pieces of equipment that I like, or things that I like to use to help me with my foot strengthening exercises. So next time I do these, I will have a couple of other things that you guys can get, bands and balls that I like to use. So hopefully this is helpful. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment box below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Tell your friends about my site, my YouTube channel. Check out my website at www.mcbmi.com. And I forgot one more thing. If you want to stretch this out, feel free to take your foot, tuck the toes under, and bend your standing leg. It never hurts to stretch out the top of your feet. And another exercise that I do with the ball is basically massage for the soles of your feet, which is very important as well. So I'll show you guys that in the next video. Thank you guys. Have a good evening.